So I'm going to do a little tutorial on how to cut this shape out of glass, which is not that easy. And this may break, and then you will see that it really isn't that easy. So the principle that I described earlier, where you start by cutting the most difficult cut first, applies with bells on for this kind of cut. So under no circumstances must you cut this edge first, because then you'll only have this amount of glass between this cut and the edge, and it will just break across there. So now we've got that, and that's not that much, but I'm hoping it'll be all right. So I will put a clear piece of paper underneath so you can see better what I'm doing. So you want to be on the outside of this line, actually, because this is the piece we're going to keep. Now it's got a horrible little thing there, which may...
Where?
There's just, I don't know whether you can see it.
Oh, sorry, I zoomed into it.
Oh, okay. There's a little texture in the glass, and it may break along there.
What, the two little lines?
Little line, yeah.
Yeah.
So having done your outside curve, or the curve that's the true cut, you then do a series of cuts, getting closer, or lines, grind lines, getting closer and closer to the true line. So you start off with something really shallow. Yeah, I can feel the cutter getting stuck in that line, so yeah, this may all come to naught, but we'll give it a go. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Now I'm getting my grosses, and I'm going to start with the first line, and then I'm just easing away. I'm doing that action where I'm not snapping so much as just pulling it away from the bigger piece of glass.
Can you move a bit forward? Thanks.
Can you move the... Actually, it's hard, so maybe you could move the camera forward.
No, don't worry. Yeah. Carry on.
Okay. So... this is where you start the nibbling. Right, moment of truth, will it come off without breaking? There we are.
Yay!
And that's how it's done.
Perfect. Let me just do a cheeky zoom. Look at how smooth that is. That's brilliant.
Okay, so I shall get rid of this glass. A little sweep, because obviously that creates a lot of crumbs. And we will now cut the rest of the shape out. So, I tend to just cut straight onto the glass with the pattern underneath, unless it's a very difficult cut that I'm going to need to swivel about. So I will now just cut the outside curve. I will do this. Oh, that's a nasty thing. I'm doing it in more than one go because it's quite a vulnerable shape. If this was a solid piece of glass, you could probably just take the whole curve in one go, but I don't want to risk it. Now it's really bad and a bit annoying, but there's a nasty little groove in the glass there.
Nasty groove.
Nasty groove. So I'm going to just keep my fingers crossed. I think you could probably hear that then, couldn't you? Right, let's hope it doesn't go dancing off in the wrong direction. Yay.
Ooh.
So, there it is. I've got a little bit of a, where the two curves join, which I can carefully nibble at. I'm being very careful because that is the weak point. Okay. So there we have it. That's one piece. Now I have to do the other piece.
Do they need to see it?
No.
Film it anyway and
Okay, we can film it, then we can edit it, can't we?
yeah, put it in fast forward like ooh, zoom 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 zoom.
So the first cut I'm going to make is the straight edge. Just checking I've got the right side of the glass. It's very similar on both sides actually, this glass. Yeah. So this edge, this shape that I'm going to cut out now, has got a nice big fat bit of glass around it, which should help it hold together. So I've just noticed that when I use a ruler, I go towards myself, not away. Just shaking it off in case there is some naughty little bits of glass there. Okay. Again, because this is the shape we're trying to keep, I'll be cutting on this side of the line. So start off with the actual shape, and then lots of shallower cuts running up to it. So I've got the actual cut and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cuts. Again, it's that. You can probably see I've just opened up the cut by pulling at it, which should mean it comes away. So again, you're not levering down, and I'm using my finger underneath just to help guide the grosses in the direction I want them to pull the glass. It's good not to rush any of this. See, this piece of glass doesn't seem as giving as the last piece I cut. So rather than coming away in a nice clean arc, I'm ending up nibbling at it. It all has its own sort of personality, glass. Like people, some's easier than others. So now it's the actual line where we want it to break nicely. There it is.
Nice one.
I will just clean that up. Excellent. When you first do that sort of thing, or when I first did that sort of thing, it made me incredibly tense. And the nearer I got to the line, the more tense I got. And actually, if I'm using very expensive glass, or it's my last piece of glass, so I absolutely mustn't break it, I still do get tense.
Well, you would do, wouldn't you?
Yes. Yes, you would. So you can see me swiveling this around, and it's just so that I get it, just checking I'm on the right one. I'm not sure I am. Yeah, that's that. It's just so that I get it exactly the way it's easiest to cut. See, I nearly made a mistake there, didn't I? Okay. So again, I'm not going to attempt this in one because it's quite delicate.
Are you not going to draw it first?
No, I don't, because this is an easy shape to do. I can just
You're a pro.
I'm a pro. I can just put it back on. Ooh, did you hear
Only
that?
try this at home if you're a daredevil.
So I've taken it off to the edge. You see, you waste a lot of glass because you end up cutting it into small pieces, but there really isn't another way to do it that's safe for a shape like this, which you don't want to have to cut more often than you need to. You know, you don't want to spoil it just for the sake of saving a bit of glass. So that is those two pieces done. I'll just get the other pieces and fit them in so we get an idea of how it's developing.